Greetings and blessings. Welcome to another Wild Medicine podcast. This is your host, Earthny, and I am so delighted to be here today with you guys and honestly, truly honored. Wild Medicine is a podcast that is dedicated to feeding you and nourishing you the knowledge that you need as we are rising into the age of Aquarius, while we are rising beyond the shackles of our past and awakening to a new beginning, a new way, a new ability to live in this world with ease, with bliss, and in true alignment with our wellness. We have hosts on, and myself, Earthny, guide you through podcasts about anything from crystals and energy healing to natural medicine and navigating your traumas, what it's like to live in the shadow, what it's like to live in the light. We serve you everything that you need as much as we can. And thank you so much, and enjoy this beautiful podcast. Sat Nam. This podcast is sponsored by my online course Renewal. It is a 30-day guidance program that designates how to align with your higher purpose, how to find out what your sacred why is, and how to embody that into reality. We go through a 4-week process of initiating our rite of passage into doing what we love and loving what we do. It is a sacred way to enlighten yourself on the true potential that you hold, and a journey where you can finally truly find the home of your soul and what you're meant to do on this planet. So if you're interested in it, head on to earthny.com and give us a check out. Blessings and namaste. Hello, Spirit family. Wow, I am just really amazed and so grateful to be sitting in front of my microphone right now. It's been a wild past couple of weeks, and I've taken a little hiatus, which some of you may have noticed or maybe not, which is all good in the hood. But yeah, I was really diving into myself sacredly and, really working hard to get aligned within my own being because, dear Lord, January has been a rough start to the year, but that is good. It's good that, this year has started up in a way that really got us figuring out like what we do want, what we don't want, what feels good, what doesn't feel good, because this huge shift of energy and shift of knowledge and shift of just, in general, our frequency has opened a really big doorway for us to invite in change and invite in intentions to bring about change that is empowering and that we all really, really need in our life right now. And so this entire podcast is going to be on that. I'm going to talk about, kind of what I've been experiencing lately. Today is a new moon. It's a new moon in Aquarius, so hallelujah. But oh my gosh, it's been hardcore. And so today I really wanted to focus this podcast on, navigating change and how to navigate bad days in a way that brings about an activation in our lives that we can truly transform upon. As well as a little bit about the inside energy that's going on in the month of February and what we can expect from this new moon and what it is bringing forth into our lives. So it's been wild. I've been digging in and, through my own intuition, through card readings, through, looking at the astrology and seeing what everybody else is saying, as well as paired with my own opinion and my own experience, is brought forth today's podcast. So without further ado, let's just get deep inside. But before that, I would like us all to just take a moment and tune in. So wherever you are, whether you're driving or you're, just hanging out or, whatever you're doing, I invite you to join me in taking a moment for our breath, for our peace, and for the unity that we all wish to exist in. So you can close your eyes if you want to, or you can keep them open. wherever you're at, just let's tune in with ourselves. If you can, bring your hands on your heart and just breathe. So inhaling fully and exhaling fully. Just focusing on your breath. Ooh, beautiful, beautiful. And now gently come back and allow yourself to be fully present, fully ready to take in this information, to be activated by this very existence. Awesome. So, see, that's all it takes is just a few seconds of closing your eyes and tuning in and just allowing yourself, holding space for yourself to catch up with your breath. So often we're just running and running and running and going and going and going through life and not taking a moment to just simply be, simply breathe, and allow ourselves to catch up with the very essence of who we're being. And wow, I really learned a lot about that today. Today has been rather rough for me, and that happens sometimes. Sometimes we have shitty days, and that's okay. And I tell myself that all the time, and today was just really bad. I was like really being tested. I hate, to say that, but I was really just, my patience, my power, my ability to stay focused and stay authentic and integral was kind of tested by simple things. Just I was getting agitated by just a few things. So, today I fell really bad. It's been raining here in Houston, and there's like mud, and I was stepping onto a sidewalk from a grassy area like really early this morning on my way to class, and I fell so hard on the concrete, and my hips just I feel pain in my hips. Like, it's pretty gnarly. So I've just been relaxing, trying to stretch them, understanding that I fell pretty hard. And I mean, I can still walk and stuff, but it's definitely uncomfortable, and I can definitely feel that, I just need to take it easy. So when that first happened, I was just like, oh, okay, like, whoa, and this girl, like, came and helped me up, and, like, I was just like, oh my god, and I was like, I'm good, like, just like, oh, okay, like, let's just keep moving on in life, like, that was embarrassing, or whatever, which I love embarrassing moments, to be completely honest, and so I was just like, okay, whatever, and I was just walking, and I had, like, my smoothie in my cup, and my smoothie, like, had went all over, like, the ground, and there was, like, half of it left, and I was like, well, at least it didn't get on my new outfit, so I was just, like, being optimistic. But then I was like, man, like, I kind of, like, I said that, and then I kept going on, and I just was navigating, and I realized that, like, I was still, like, holding on to a grudge, or just, seeing that as, like, a bad moment instead of it being just, like, whatever it happened. Even though I had already accepted that it happened, I was still kind of holding on to it in a way that was like, ugh, like, why did that happen? Instead of just trusting it and allowing it to be. And that was weird, and I was just like, whatever, and I just got into my art class and was, started sculpting. It was my ceramics class, and that was cool, and then I was, like, just listening to a podcast, the Sovereign Society podcast. You should definitely check it out. It's one of my favorites, and I totally just respect Sabrina as, like, a fellow podcaster, so shout out to them. But anyway, I was walking in my car, back to my car, and I got there, and my car was gone. It was nowhere to be found, and I was just like, oh my god. Okay, either one, somebody stole my car, or my car's towed. Either way, that sucks. And so I kind of start panicking, and I realized that I had parked in, like, a no parking zone. It was not very apparent, but then, like, as I was, like, looking around more, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's because there's other cars near me, but I got towed anyway. I don't have to justify it or go into it, but it sucked. And I was just like, okay, what do I do? Because Dash is out of town, and usually when, like, geez, he's amazing. He's my divine masculine. And so in situations like this, I would usually just call him and be like, babe, like, my car's towed. Can you please come get me? Or, like, help me figure out what the hell to do. But he wasn't around. But I still called him. Once I figured out where my car was, I called him. And he really didn't have much for me. So I was just like, okay, fuck, I gotta do this on my own. Which is good. So it worked out. Like, I was really sad, had to spend a whole bunch of money, had to catch a lift, which I usually don't really, and I mean, I'm down to do it, but whatever. Anyway, I was just like uncomfortable, and uncomfortable situations, and it was a huge lesson because I was like the whole like, like I woke up at 8 or I woke up at like 7, and then from like 7:45 to like 2:30 p.m. I was just in a bad mood, and I was just like uncomfortable and in pain and in aggravation. And at first, those are all emotions that most people, we don't really want. And for me, I really, have a tendency, of course, to shy away from these emotions, shy away from them, acknowledge them, see them for what they are, but like just like let go of them and not let them rule me. And I was just getting really stuck into it. And then I was like, oh yeah, well, today's the new moon. What's the new moon in Aquarius? And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, so I got home and I centered myself. I took a shower and just hung out for a little bit, did some spirit work, did some mirror gazing, some spiritual cleansing, some journaling, and I'm feeling better. And I'm feeling good, and I'm understanding, and I'm showing gratitude, and I'm not even worried about my car getting towed anymore. I just feel fortunate that I, one, it didn't get stolen. I know where it is. I have it back, and I had, money to get it back. So I'm thankful for that, and just letting it go and letting it roll away. And I feel like that energy isn't stuck in there. And so it really brought me to wanting to discuss the topic of today's podcast, like just feeling truly inspired. And I like to, implement action when I'm feeling inspired. And if I'm not feeling inspired, then I won't do things. But anyway, so I just was like, you know what? I need to do a podcast today on how to navigate bad days into sustainable change for the future. And so that's what I want to focus a bit on today. And I'm going to conjunct that with what we're currently growing through with this new moon in Aquarius. So, it's been pretty crazy. I would say the top 5 things that I can say so far about the month of February, and especially this new moon in Aquarius, is, so 1, we're really being asked to be honest with ourselves, with others, and acting upon honesty in a way that is really holding us to our integrity, and really, really doing everything we can, no matter what situation we're in, to have integrity and to do the right thing. So I feel like this new moon is really making us having to really step into that and really embody that and really focus in upon doing the right thing so that everything else can come with grace and ease now that we're stepping into really this new year, this new opportunity. And the second thing that I'm learning a lot about right now, which I want to this is what I'm learning right now, and I'm sharing it with you guys because I can only imagine that you guys are also growing through this right now too, because we are a collective consciousness. So 2, dedication. We are being asked to do everything in our lives from a space of devotion and dedication. And, we don't really have time for half-assing anymore, especially if you're, really wanting to step up to the plate and do what you love and love what you do. We can't be half-assing things. And so right now, in the past couple of weeks and leading up to today, we've been really being asked to figure out what are we devoted for and where can we give energy and give space to only act and exist from a space of devotion. 3 is, being mindful. We really need to be mindful right now. And don't second guess things when you're being mindful. When you're being mindful, a lot of your intuition is allowed to flow. And from that, we get true statements, true insight into what's going on. And so not second guessing ourselves and allowing us to be mindful. 4 is honoring our commitments. So, that's pretty straightforward. Whatever you're, committed to, whatever you've set your goals on, what those things that you really want to dedicate space to in your life, fully honoring them and, in a way, being dedicated to them. And the 5th thing that I really feel that we're going to be learning about this month is practicing true love and allowing true love to emit from everything that we do. It's the month of February. We have Valentine's Day coming up, and truly it is a time to hold space for love. And a lot of times we're just, see it as just a symbol for, significant other love. But for me, and I can agree, I think anybody who's on a spiritual path or a mindful path and growing towards that can really agree that, Valentine's Day also brings up the notion of universal love and just a day to show more love and to bring love in its entirety back into our mindfulness. You can look at it as a superficial view or the spiritual view. And that's how I choose to see it. So that's why I think this month we're really going to be learning a lot about universal love. So yeah, those are the top 5, little insights that I'm gathering about this month. And, that has really brought me to understanding that the message, the theme for this month is activation. We are going to be activated to truly step into our power and have legitimate space and legitimate alignments and energy to manifest these aspects of ourselves that we are desiring and needing. We deserve them. So we're really being asked to cultivate that space and to step inside of it. And through the top 5 characteristics that I shared, we will be activated. So really embodying these characteristics, guys. Because you might, straight up, this is so funny to say, the universe knocked me on my ass. And that happens to us, if we're not doing the right thing, and especially when you're a dedicated spiritual human being, you will get knocked on your ass if you're not, for whatever reason, if you're not focusing in, you're not being mindful, the universe will wake you up. And sometimes it could be hardcore. So you need to get your ass in order and practice consistency, practice, your devotions, and really stepping up to the plate to honor yourself in your fullest, highest embodiment way. And, through that, we can be really allowing ourselves to channel our passions into action. And that's the only way that we are really going to find that gorgeousness, that space of honor, that space of hope, that space of true commitment and true peace and bliss, is by channeling all of that passion, what inspires you, what sparks that divinity within you, channeling that into action, channeling that into your everyday life, channeling that into who you are and how you are projecting yourself out there in the world. Because when you project yourself from that point and that perspective and that power and magnitude, that is how people are going to perceive you. You get to decide people's first impressions of you. How do you want people to observe, to understand, and to look at you when they first meet you? What is the gravity that you want to hold? And these are all questions that I think a lot of us have been asking ourselves throughout the entire month of January. And I truly believe, and I'm truly saying, that February is about activating those. And sometimes that means knocking us on our ass so that we can really go through that uncomfortability to realize, hey, something's not right. Something's out of alignment. Something needs work. Something needs to be tuned back in. And that's what I went through today. And it is possible to experience that. It is possible for, new energy and insights and motivations and productivity to come in through discontent and aggravation and, those hardcore shifts that, it's like cause and effect. When we're doing one thing, when we do anything, it is a cause, we're putting that action out there. We're putting that energy out there that's going to ripple back to us. And the effects, we're going to feel them. Everything in life is that way. And, that's how we experience change. And, especially for me lately, I've been learning a lot about how, like I said, discomfort and aggravation and just hardcore, uncomfortable experiences are true activations, manifestors, opportunities for shifts. They are initiations into a better way. And that's how I choose to hold my perception of any day experiences that are everything less than perfect and beautiful upon first perception. Anything that is uncomfortable, something that rattles me in not the most beautiful way. I see it as, okay, there's an initiation for me to tune in. This is an initiation for me to step up. This is an initiation for me to step into my authority and step into who I want to become and demand that I align to myself. Because if we're just letting our mind run haywire, letting our mind just run around and be crazy, well, that's what we're going to get. But and if you're dedicated and you step up, the universe is going to be like, hey, you're not on track right now. And that, that's how we have to take these signs and, allow momentum to exist there. And I really feel like that's my biggest nourishment when I am going through hard times, because like I said, the whole month of January, it was pretty hardcore for me. I learned a lot and was embodying a lot and going through a lot of different emotions and experiences and growth opportunities, and it was very internalized for me, which was so healing. And the best way for me to really step into that and honor it was through movement, gaining the activations, gaining the knowledge through movement, and just simplifying, not allowing, too much chaos, too much rigid natures, too much confusion to overwhelm me or, pull me under. I feel like a lot of times we can just get overly complicated with a lot of things. And so a big message for me lately has just been to simplify. So, if you're going through a hard time, if you're going through, pain, if you're going through anger, if you're going through despair, any sort of what we perceive right now as dense experiences or emotions, just allow yourself to, take it for what it is and just let it float on and take, everything you can from it. But don't get too absorbed in it. Just learn what you can and let it go. And that is how we heal old emotional wounds and, invite our spirit guides to trust us and lead us in a harmonious way, because that is possible. And, today what really shifted my perception and shifted my energy is, I was sitting in class and my mind was just, whining and whining like, fuck, like, this sucks. And then, I just was sitting there and I was like, you know what? I would just take a deep breath, close my eyes, and just, tune into myself and let go whatever's around me, whatever I'm feel like I'm suffering from right now, whatever, and just let that wash away. And I did, and I let it wash away, and then I was granted, a mantra to use by a higher source. Thank you for sending that to me. Saying I rely on miracles. And I was like, you know what? I do rely on miracles, and that's okay. And that's why this experience is okay, and that's why every hardcore, uncomfortable experience is okay, because I rely on miracles, and I understand that, yeah, bad things happen, but that doesn't mean I have to live from a life of bad or hard or ugly. I experience them and I float on, and that's okay. And miracles always come around, and you can ask for them. The moment you step into a space and trusting and allowing yourself to understand that you deserve miracles and you can actually rely on them and expect them, and that's how your life will be. That's, it's quite the activation and understanding and, my personal belief. And as soon as I, started saying that and, holding space for it in my mind and in my repetition, I experienced, just shedding away of all those negative experiences and, densities into just feeling light and feeling like, okay, yeah, a miracle will come, everything will come around, I'm blessed, whatever. We'll go get my car and we'll have this taken care of. And that's how it went. So, yeah, that was crazy. And, now I'm at home and I just started digging more into this new moon and what all it has in store for us. La Luna, the powerful crystal ball and portal in our sky. So this new moon is in Aquarius, which is an air sign. So we're working a lot with our energy, our thoughts, and that side of our world. The very, when we think of air is exactly a life force energy that we can't see, but it's all around us and it's keeping us alive. And, our thoughts are energy in that same way, being projected outwards. And so this new moon, we're tuning in with that energy because it is in Aquarius. So the activation begins here today. And so if you're feeling aggravated, if you're feeling hardcore, if you're feeling kind of all over the place, wishy-washy, all over, in every single emotion, back out, and you're getting frustrated, this is why. Because uncomfortability, just discomfort in general, especially emotional discomfort, is a huge antidote for real activation change, to let that go and to let yourself tune in and be. And that is exactly why you've been feeling these different emotions throughout the day, because your higher self is sending them to you so that you can channel your passion into action, revisit yourself, get so upset that you have no other point to really look deeper inside of yourself and, remember your sacred truth that you need at this time. And, that may come up, and, it's just important to not misread these messages, to not misread the connotation, the energy, the true message of these discomforts, to allow their message to be pure and light and, truly give yourself space to decode them. Don't get too stuck in the nitty gritty emotions. It's okay to feel them. It's okay to get angry. It's okay to, really allow yourself to figure out these emotions, but don't get stuck in them and don't allow yourself to steep in them till you're just cold. Give yourself space to really dive in. And that's how we bring apart, upon these great shifts of emotions. And, that's what sparks the powerful change, is not only the mind, but the body and the spirit respond to the emotions. And so they're big channel ways for us to really get in tune with all these different parts of ourselves. And when navigated in the right way, we can tune them and redirect them to be presented in a way that is more empowering and more realistic to who and where we're going and what we want to truly embody. And yeah, so it just shedding off the old and activating the new. This whole new moon's really digging into that, and that gives us space to focus on our, the bigger dreams and retune into, our New Year's resolutions and inviting that back into the month and how we are going to carry ourselves and push ourselves forward through this month in honor of what we wanted to hone in and manifest this year. And on the 5th is the Chinese, or also the Lunar New Year, and we're going to be entering the year of the boar. And it's going to be about, grounding us and being practical and so that we can allow a true prosperity. So if times when you're feeling crazy, this moment on, from February 5th on, ask the boar to ground you, the energy of the boar governing this year to come in and ground you at this time. And it'll be there, it'll be there right now. So whenever you invite it and envision it, it'll come in. And, continuing on with all of that energy, right now is a perfect time to revisit our boundaries and our rules and allow ourselves to connect with our divine rights and what we actually really, really want. We need to stop compromising and, in general, I feel like that's the best word that I can give right now is we need to stop compromising ourselves and go back to honoring our boundaries and our commitments and what we truly want for ourselves and feeling the deep love and deep power inside of that space. We've been kind of just going and going and going, and we need to just slow down for a second and to maybe set new boundaries if, the boundaries you set before didn't work, or maybe there's boundaries that you have that are working right now, but maybe there's ways you can make them better. Whatever it is, I'm inviting you to go into that space right now and to actually look at your boundaries. And maybe you don't have very clear, defined boundaries for yourself. And so that can be a really, really healthy thing. And it can be a true art of growing deeper inside yourself and holding deeper space for your, awakening. Some healthy boundaries could be anything like, making sure that you aren't. So I'm just going to share some of my healthy boundaries so that I can give you guys an example, because it's harder for me to make up fake ones because they're always just really what I need. So I'm just going to say it. So my healthy boundaries is to, 1, simplify. That's a really big boundary that I've been setting and activating myself upon, is, literally making myself hold space for the legitimate, doing exactly what I need to do to actually simplify my life, to declutter, whether that's my thoughts, whether that's my, habits or my belief systems, but just not allowing myself to get too complicated with them, because when we get too complicated, then that's when things kind of get mixed up, and that's where illusion really, dives in and takes advantage of what we're growing through. Another healthy boundary for me that I have set is to give myself or honor myself a Reiki cleansing every week. And whether that's me doing it for myself, or me and my partner doing a share, or me and another energy healing doing a share, I have to do that, because last year I wasn't giving myself full space for energy healings once a week. And a lot of times I would just do 10 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe if I'm really needing it, an hour session, and that, every now and then whenever it was needed. But the thing with that, and a thing that I want you guys to be mindful with along your path and growing into, whatever sort of medicine that you hold for yourself to heal with, is not only using it when you're depleted. That was a big thing for me that I had to let go of in 2018, is I would only, go to doing full-on energy sessions or getting full-on energy sessions for myself when I was depleted. And, that's not the best route. At least you're able to heal yourself, and at least you're going to that. But that's not the best way for you to truly embody your highest self and truly embody your growth and your ascension. If you're giving yourself weekly activations or daily, I do daily activations, but I'm talking about a full-on healing session. You're giving yourself 100% dedicated space to grow and to empower and to higher yourself and higher your vibration. And so that's, if there's any advice that I can give, and that's what I've been actually doing that this month, and it's been that's what's keeping me sustained right now, and it's what's keeping me just, jumping towards and towards and towards my light and my power and my prosperity. Pretty awesome. So yeah, definitely if you know Energy Healer, definitely hit them up for a weekly session and invest in that, because it's going to change your life. It's going to change your vibration. It's going to totally transform the magnitude at which you vibrate at and what you invite into your life, and allows you to really hold space for clarity. So I do energy healings for a lot of different people, and I have, it's 444, hey, and when I do regular sessions with my clients, it's completely different. I can see the change within them night and day by 3 weeks of just coming to a session once a week or even bi-weekly. It's that consistency that allows you and holds space for you to walk through that doorway of legitimate glowing up, to radiate at the most liberating and radical rate that you possibly could. And so, I'll even throw this out there. If you are interested in experimenting with, a weekly healing session and dedicated space to, invest in yourself and your vibration and really feel that, I'll even offer you, just hit me up and tell me you came through the Wild Medicine podcast, and I will give you $15 off of a healing session. And if you set up a longer date, I'll do a better deal. Whatever it is, I just want you guys to feel this, and I would love to be a catalyst for that shift within you. And it's just, I get so excited and I get so happy when I have, people in my life, and when I see people and I can help people witness that dramatic change when we really step up to the plate and hold space for our healing in a devotional way, not just in a depleted way, but I actually, want this energy, I want this feeling, I want this love, I want this nourishment, I want this growth. And the first week you might come because you literally feel depleted, and the second week you might be depleted by the time you come, but the third week you're actually feeling level and more level and more activated and more carried with grace. So it's pretty cool. Something I've been experimenting with quite passionately lately. So definitely cool thing. So another thing with this new moon, and I heard this from another astrologer, and I don't know too much about the different astrological bodies or the alignments, but I do understand even intuitively on what's happening. So the Black Moon Lilith, which connects with the goddess Lilith, she aligns with this new moon, and that is her way of channeling through this passage that is guiding us into the year of 2020, so preparing us for the 2020 conjunctions that, brings us out of Capricorn and into the Aquarius sign, where we'll be for the next decade learning and growing and channeling ourselves in that space. And so Lilith is connected with this moon in that way for us to step up and see our shadow and all the different parts of our life that, are inside of the shadow. And she's making us focus on that space and how we're communicating with our own ugliness and darkness and energy blocks, essentially. She's making us see our own energy blocks so that we can be fully aware of them and go through them and clear them out and break up that stagnation so that we can truly be activated, and letting go of those negative manifestors, whether that's our thoughts or people in our life or just habits that we're engaging in, letting us see them so that we can truly flush them out, and activating the power of our mind. So I'm super excited. If you know about Lilith, you know that energy that she holds. She's a goddess that shows us that the light side of the dark, shows us the good and the bad, the ugly, and a way so that we can truly not be ignorant anymore to those spaces. We all need to observe, darkness in a very wise and a very authoritative way, because it all has a purpose. It all has a message, and we need to be aware of it. We need to be aware of the messages of our darkness, the messages of our trauma and our past and our ugliness and even our radness. We need to understand it all. And so Lilith offers us a healthy portal to observe that through. So if you're going through darkness, if you're going through discomfort and you're feeling it, and you're not understanding why it's going on, pray upon her to bring that message forth. Okay, so I also did a card reading for this new moon. And I just asked, okay, so the deck that I'm using for this is the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle by Lon. Oh my goodness. I was just, when I, downloaded and received and found the theme of this month, which was activation, I just looked at my cards and I was like, hey, I have my activations cards. So I was like, I have to use those for the podcast. So I shuffled and I asked it to just give us insight on how to navigate these activations in a clear and direct way. So the first card that I pulled was 3 of the solar plexus chakra. And this card reads, the frequency of the solar plexus chakra, the yellow flower of life, supports our sense of self, your personal power, and our willpower, as well as our knowing of who we are and what we contribute to as a whole. So I feel like in relation to, these activations and how to navigate them and how to invoke them, this card is telling us to use the essence of our solar plexus chakra to support us in gaining awareness of, the power that we hold, the gravity we hold, as well as the knowing and trusting that we can see and understand what we deserve and what we desire in a clear way. So that's that's the first one that came up. The second one that came up is 10 of authority. And so it says this frequency of authority reminds us that true authority is powerful, directed and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. And for majority of us, when we think of authority, we think of, police or parents or people in power. And for a lot of us, we might have a negative connotation or imagination of this word. And I invite you to take a moment and redirect your understanding and your attachment that you may have to that word and see in which ways you can hold space for it to be more liberated and heart-centered. So for me, authority, I choose to see this card, authority, as me stepping into my power and my divine right and my sovereignty to dictate healthy things for my life in a way that is supervising my growth, supervising my essence, supervising my devotions so that I can live in highest embodiment with myself. And being powerful and directed to do that so that I can realize what I need to do in the most loving way. And so this card really is such a blessing to pair with the lesson of activation and what we're growing through this month. And it's showing us that, when we're feeling in those stuck in darkness in ways where we're not honoring what we love and doing what we truly love or coming from a space of love, we have the authority to change that, and we have the opportunity to step into that authority in a strong way. But we need to have clear intentions. We need to be very honest. We need to have integrity, and we need to be completely from a space of pureness when we step into that. Stepping up into authority with love is going to be a big thing. And that is how we're going to gain our emergence, which is the last card that I pulled for it. And it's 25, so 5 plus 2 is 7, so alignment. And so it's perfect with the word of emergence. And it says, the frequency of emergence invites us to approach our reality with a childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment, and to watch and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from that place. So, if there's anything that you take from this podcast and this reading, it is you have everything that you need to navigate your woes, your sorrows, your shadows, your traumas, your chaos. You have everything you need to navigate it in a way that brings real sustainable change. You're not subject or stuck in negativity. You don't have to stay in these places. And through enlightenment, through mindfulness, through honoring yourself, you can emerge the healthy, dedicated, beautiful, happy you that you have been waiting to be born, so that you can see yourself in your life from a true space of beauty and allow peace and grace and unity to emerge from that space. You know, when you're having a bad day, when things are hardcore, when things are hurting, when things are confusing, when things are scary, when something invokes fear inside of you, just feel it. Don't hold it in. Don't bottle it up. Allow yourself to feel it, but keep it in control. Don't let yourself get so flustered to where you jump off the other end. But allow yourself to witness it in a very wise way. And from that space, do it in a way that gives you clarity. Sit, breathe, forget about whatever's going on in the world, forget about whatever brought you to that point, and just breathe. Breathe your way through it. Allow your breath to carry you through the awkwardness. That's why I start these podcasts with deep breaths, so that we can all take a moment and tune in with our breath to let go of what, came before and what's going to come after, and to just seep into the present moment so that we can truly receive. And that's what I had to do today. I had to surrender. I had to just stop and breathe and just tune into myself. And then from there, I was able to see the wisdom and the opportunity that the negativity or the frustration had brought to me today, and navigate it accordingly in a way that would just a child would. And, I'm a firm believer that children know what's up when it comes to letting go. They cry for a moment, they get upset, they're feeling it, and then they realize, okay, that wasn't that bad, onto a new happier thing, onto a new opportunity to explore the beauty of life. So just not letting yourself get stuck, sometimes it can be hard, but it doesn't have to be. You have the power to activate portals of healings within your bad days. I can do it. So you can do it. If somebody out there can do that, then why can't you? You have just as much potential as me. So next time when shit's hitting the fan, take a deep breath and fall in love and allow the rest to wash away, because pain doesn't last forever, my love. So on that note, let's take a deep breath. Sat Nam. May you navigate this month beautifully. May this new moon bring you everything that you need. And may you hold yourself with care and grace. It is my most highest self that comes from this space. So thank you for allowing me to channel this through and to gift you this opportunity for enlightenment. If you're a listener who would like to be on the podcast and share your medicine, go ahead and email us at wildmedicinepodcast@gmail.com. And if you're a Patreon and a lover and, you just want to keep following along and getting involved, go ahead and follow us on Instagram at Wild Medicine Podcast. Or you can follow my personal Instagram at _earthly energy. Or at earthly_energy. Yeah, we're out there, and I'm always available for healing, and I'm always available for opportunity for you to ask questions and grow with me, because I'm growing too, and through our connections, through our conversations, through this podcast, by me giving you healing, I am healing myself. So thank you for this opportunity. And, We love your reviews. I love hearing your experience, your thoughts, your imaginations, what this podcast invokes in for you. So definitely give us a rating, give us a shout out. Tell me what you love, what you don't love. Just give me all of your advice, and no matter what it is, I love hearing from you guys. And hit me up for different podcast topics. So yeah, sending so much love and gratitude. I bow down to the divine feminine and masculine in each and every one of you. Sat Nam.